Hi there, my name is Brian McGowan. I'm the Chief Learning Officer and Chief Architect at ArcheMedX, and I'm trying to answer two questions for you. I'll try to figure out why education fails, it's pretty positive, and how we can fix it, which maybe is more positive. ArcheMedX is a medical education company, which may be out of the norm for a lot of the conversations we're having. I'm a medical educator, and I'm trying to solve this problem. Over 100 years now, clinicians have been trained in this ungodly way with the sage from the stage. We're getting better in medical education, so students and clinicians can access content in more accessible and more convenient ways, but the basic theory of medical education hasn't changed. It's based on a basic assumption that learners know how to learn. It's a pretty critical assumption if you think about it for a second. What if learners know how to learn? What if the assumption's valid? Then everything we do as a profession is good. But what if learners don't know how to learn? It's a question we posed to ourselves about a year and a half ago at ArcheMedX, and we've tried for the last year and a half to solve this or answer this question in different ways. So remember, the base of what ArcheMedX is trying to answer this question. What we did is we went out and we interviewed over 200 clinicians in the last year and a half to understand what they see as the process of learning. Right? Through structured interviews, we wanted to understand how they're engaging with content, and what that led us to is define 4 natural learning actions. As adult learners, when we're engaging with content, the first natural learning action is that we take notes. 85% of adult learners identify as being a note taker. 100% of them admit that they don't know how to take notes well. The second natural learning action is that we try to set reminders. I work with clinicians, some of the brightest people in the world, and they admit to being reliant on external reminders. They almost all admit that those reminders fail them. The third natural learning action is, as we're engaging with content, maybe I've said something interesting, and now your attention's fragmented. Am I interested in what Brian's talking about in the slides, or do I want to search something that he's described? Which would be great if you knew how to search effectively and knew how to find the right answer. And the fourth natural learning action is the subtle form of Bandura's social learning I refer to as social triggering. We're looking to the right and to the left of us right now. As people are engaged, we become more engaged. As people are more passive, we become more passive. Through our research identifying these 4 natural learning actions, if we ignore the fourth one for a second, I can tell you definitively that adults do not know how to learn. They don't know how to take notes, they don't know how to set reminders, they don't know how to conduct timely searches to find the best or the right answer in real time. So the question at ArcheMedX we started to ask ourselves is, if we could support the natural learning actions, would we fundamentally transform education? I believe through the research we've done that I can answer this question pretty much as a definitive yes as well. But before I show you what we've done, let me introduce the concept of structure and nudges. We all understand what the right decisions are at times, but we all consistently make the wrong decisions. We often need a structure around us that nudges us in the right direction. And that's what we're doing at ArcheMedX, is we're building what I refer to as a learning architecture. It allows the educators to plan and develop content and put it in the architecture. It allows the learners to access that content that supports their natural learning action, and content and architecture become married together. The slight demo that I'll do for you is just point out key features of our architecture. The first one is that we're going to allow the learners to take notes. The notes are perfectly synced in time with the content, and you can actually start a discussion around any moment within that content. The second innovation in our platform is that the learners, the educators, can embed into, in time-stamped and organized manners, key nudges and structural triggers into the content. So at the exact moment that I want to suggest to you there's an article you should read, I'm going to bring it to your attention. The third innovation is that as the learners are engaging with this content, as they're engaging with what the educators have brought to their attention, or they're engaging with what they're learning, they can set reminders anytime they want. Those reminders leverage space learning theory, Price Kerfoot's work out of Harvard. And the fourth innovation is that now, instead of the learners having to fragment their attention and go someplace else to learn, they can ask questions and conduct their searches all within the learning environment. Now here's the cool part. Every note, every nudge, every reminder, every search that's conducted, all of that is monitored. We've built already in ArcheMedX the world's largest clinician learning registry. I can tell you what notes learners take, I can tell you how they're reacting to content. Now, 5 minutes isn't nearly enough time for me to emphasize all that, so I suggest you go to ArcheMedX.com, where we have over 1,000 resources that explore clinician learning, education technology, big data analytics as it relates to adult learning, and I appreciate your attention. Thank you.